Hello and welcome, yogis. My name is Rachel Marie White. I am a yoga teacher over at sleepysantosha.com, where I create yoga practices for people living with chronic pain and chronic illness. I am a special guest here today on Malia's Yoga channel, and I am so excited to have this opportunity to share a bit of my story with you. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe to Malia's channel, and don't forget to check out the video she made over on my channel today as well. Those of you who subscribe to Malia's channel know that she specializes in yoga for anxiety, and I find that a lot of us living with anxiety also live with some degree of chronic pain or chronic illness as well. I have personally been living with chronic illness since 2010, and while this has definitely been a challenge for me physically, I feel like it's been just as much of a challenge mentally and emotionally. When you have a chronic health condition, it can be scary to talk about feeling anxious or depressed because as soon as you admit to those feelings, everyone wants to blame your physical condition on your mental health, including doctors. People might say things like, "Oh, you just need to relax and think more positive." And doctors might neglect you even though you're truly a very sick patient. They might throw antidepressants or anxiety medications at you just to get you out of their office. If you're not getting better and they can't figure out why, it must be your fault for being so neurotic. What these people fail to acknowledge is that living with chronic pain or chronic illness is a very stressful thing for many reasons, and it is normal to feel anxious or depressed about it. The truth is that anxiety can be just as much a physiological symptom of illness as fatigue, dizziness, or vomiting. Whenever the body is sick or in pain, it triggers the sympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for the body's fight or flight response. It's the body's way of trying to get our attention, calling us to action, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But whenever somebody is living with a chronic health condition, this response can get stuck in overdrive. And this disrupts our hormone balance, which can make us feel completely exhausted. And it can make us swing back and forth between feeling completely anxious and depressed. Everything is so interconnected, mind, body, and spirit. And it's important that we address all of these aspects in order to experience wellness. The good news is that we can use our yoga practice to switch out of the fight or flight response and switch back into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is also called the rest or digest response. It is only in this state of being that we can experience healing. So it's really important that we find ways to tap into this restorative power. Today I want to share one of my favorite restorative yoga poses with you, and I'm going to show you 3 ways to do it so that you can find the version of the pose that feels most comfy for you. This pose is called Balasana, or child's pose. If you've done yoga before, chances are you've done this one. I really love that it soothes the nervous system, and I love that when I add props to this pose, it helps me feel even more supported and cozy.
For our first variation, you'll need a yoga bolster or a stack of pillows, and you'll start by coming down onto your knees. If you'd like, you can also place a folded blanket or a cushion under your knees or under your hips for extra padding. Take your knees wide and bring the bolster between your knees so you can drape your entire torso over the top, and turn your head to the side. You can rest here for up to 10 minutes. Just make sure that you turn your head to the other direction halfway through so that your neck doesn't become stiff. Option number 2 uses a bolster and a yoga block. For this variation, you'll lie down on your belly on top of the bolster, stretch your legs out behind you, and then rest your forehead on the yoga block. This option is great for people with knee pain or neck pain, and it still gives you all the benefits of child's pose. It releases the lower back, massages the internal organs, relieves headaches, and of course, calms the nervous system. You can rest here for as long as you'd like. If getting down to the floor is a no-go for you, you're going to love this third modification. This option uses 2 chairs facing each other, a yoga bolster, and a block. So you're going to be seated in a chair with the feet flat on the floor, If they don't reach, you can use blocks or books to bring the floor to you. And once you set your block on the chair in front of you, place one end of the bolster on top of the block and the other end between your knees. Make sure it's completely secure, and then drape your upper body over the bolster. You can rest here for up to 10 minutes, but again, make sure you turn your head the other direction halfway through so that your neck doesn't become stiff.
If you are living with chronic illness and you're experiencing anxiety or depression, I want you to know that it is not your fault. None of this is your fault, and you deserve support and love as you find healing. Knowing that we are supported and understood, knowing that we aren't alone in our struggles brings a special kind of comfort. So if you're looking for a place where you can experience that kind of support, I invite you to come join me over on my YouTube channel, where we are creating a community of warriors who are committed to building an abundant life in spite of chronic pain and illness. Thank you so much for being here today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up so it can reach more people. And let me know in the comments below which version of Balasana was your favorite. And thank you again to Malia for having me today. I hope to see you all again really soon. Namaste.